Back to the Neil Haley Show, and my guest today is going to talk about couples and communication. Sharyn Nichols. Sharyn, thanks for stopping by. And so let's talk about that, really. Let's kind of break that down in a way in couples and communication, because communication is such an important facet to a
Yes, it is.
relationship. And it's a lesson, and the more you communicate, the better the relationship will last longer, right? Is that the possibility? And not have as many fights and disagreements and arguments, right?
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It is such a great honor and a pleasure to be talking with you, Neil. I really appreciate it. So, I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I love working with couples. The way I work is I work for an hour and a half, and I see one person for 20, 25 minutes, and then I see the other person for 20, 25 minutes, and then we come together and have a conversation. Because so often, we get so caught up in how we want to say something, and we can be sitting next to someone and we could say something and they hear it and not the way that it was actually truly intended. And so then that just spirals the whole conversation out of control. So we don't actually then truly get to the point where we wanted to get to, because we start making assumptions about what the other person, what they are actually really saying. So we don't feel heard or understood. So my goal is for both people to walk out of the session feeling heard and understood. And so it's not even a question of being right. Quite often I get looked at and questioned, like, well, am I right? And it really then goes to, is mommy is the disputer, is the comes up with the answer for the argument. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Those words are failing me. So I am not about being the arbitrator of the dispute. It's truly about being heard and understood. So what I like to do is really give each person the words with which to speak so that they can get their point across without upsetting the other.
And that's,
I should take a breath.
that makes complete sense, because then if each person feels like they've been understood now, then there's communication finally happening.
Yes, because so often though we get caught up with the being understood and heard, with equating that with actually being right, because we want to be agreed with, because I'm assuming, which I also do, I say that I'm assuming, so please correct me if I'm wrong, that you've experienced, just based on the fact that, again, I'm assuming you grew up here in the United States, so you went to school here, so everything was either right or wrong. So we all just want to be right. We want to be told that we're right, because then that validates us and our own thoughts and belief system. And therefore, then if we're right, then it's a win, yay. And then we can then move into even being righteous, which is not ultimately where we want to go, because then what we're missing is the connection. So most of us, again, I'm assuming, just want to connect. I mean, it then also, of course, boils down to being loved, and which is where I make a lot of assumptions that we just truly want to be loved, and therefore we equate that with being understood and being heard, and then also being told that we're right, because I'm assuming that some of us lost love when we were told we were wrong, or we assumed that when we were told we were wrong, that we were then no longer being loved. And that, of course, is usually the farthest thing from the truth. We were told as children that we were wrong because we needed to learn how to communicate. And I can go on and on.
No, that's great. It's great points. Because it's really, the truth is that you get couples in a reverse each one, then they understand why they want to be understood. Once they get that, then the conflict kind of disappears, and then the animosity between the two disappears. How can people do that without someone like you? Is there tips out there when people, so you don't go down that road to it's really in a serious point where you need marriage therapy, counseling? You probably believe that even until you get to that point, and you have certain arguments to maybe consider it, right?
Well, first and foremost, take a breath before you speak. And if you truly aren't, if you're in love with this person, or if this person is your child, or if this person is your boss, or if this person is your best friend, know that that it's about creating the win-win. So it's not, so if you can take the breath and then let go of in the moment, just be present, let go of having to be right, and really, and then not thinking that you know what the person is going to say. So therefore, then you have to edit. Just take a breath before you speak. That's first and foremost. And then second is be present in the, don't worry about what just happened a minute ago, or don't be stuck in what just happened a minute ago, or worry about what's going to happen a minute from now. Just be present, and just know that you want, and hold that you want to create a win-win situation. And therefore then it's not about the tearing down or the having to be right. It's just let's create a win-win so we can both walk away feeling heard and understood.
All right. So best place we can find information on you, Sharyn, where can we go?
My website, feeltoheal.com, or you can Google me and find me. I have a podcast, Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols, and then also find me on Instagram, Feel to Heal with Sharyn, and DM me. I would love to start a conversation and how I best could support you and help you in communicating.
All right. We appreciate it, Sharyn. Thanks for stopping
Thank
by.
you so much, Neil. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.